Mario Brothers. Whee!
Welcome back, new viewers and gamers. It is time for a new playthrough of a new playthrough on this channel. Excuse me, and that being New Super Mario Bros. Wii, a 2D platformer instead of a 3D platformer this time. So why don't we click start over here and begin our new playthrough? So I remember this game coming out back in 2009 when I was only in the second grade. Yep, hold the Wii remote sideways. That's what I'm doing, even though you guys cannot see it. But honestly, I have a lot of fond memories playing this with my older brother and my little sister, especially with my little sister. This was the first ever game that I 100%ed as a gamer myself. So, why don't we click New right over here. And Player 1. You can have up to 4 players, and the other playable characters being Luigi and the other 2 Toads as you saw on the title screen there. Today is Princess Peach's birthday. Hey, we got ourselves a real big kick. I wonder how old Peach is at the time of this game coming out. Huh, some funny looking hairs out of it. Hey, Bowser Jr., Koopalings, so what are they doing here? Also, every bone in Peach's body is broken. There's no way you got a giant cake smashed on top of you, and you're not at least suffering some sort of grievous injury. We're running out of there. There's some Toads that are going to save us. Makes me wonder if we're really giving all these presents to Peach. Like, you really need to give her fire flowers, ice flowers? Funny that. Speaking of Peach, there's something very interesting about this game's unused content that I want to bring up, but that'll be for another day. Look at that, some propeller mushrooms and penguin suits. Peach wouldn't even be able to fit in that penguin suit. So they were going to give all those to her, but whatever. Those are the new power-ups in this game. Those who might not know. And now one of the first Koopalings that we must deal with is Larry. Yeah, these guys have some pretty interesting boss fights in my opinion, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Alright, and as you can see, we're on some sort of 2D map over here that we can move in each direction that we want to. Going down, left, right, etc. So why don't we start with 1-1 of the first world. There are 9 worlds in this game, but one of them is quite unlockable. So this right over here is a nice little reference to the very first level of New Super Mario Bros., of course, on the NES. And if we're going to talk about the Koopalings for a second, they were introduced in Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES as well. Alright, we can jump over these guys. We have this weird point system that doesn't really matter too much in this game, I think. Just get a high score, I guess. But we can go down this little warp pipe, get some extra coins from this here P block. Now, I recommend getting all these coins over here first, and then you hit the P block, and you get some extra coins. And we'll see a lot more of those P switches in later stages. And just like any old Mario game, you get 100 coins, you get something special. You could I'll probably guess what it is. Anyways, we go over here. We hit that block over there. Get a little coin out of it. Also like that Peach's Castle's in the background, showing we're not very far from it as we saw on the map. Alright, hit that Goomba from there, just like any other Mario game. You can hit on the bottom of a block, and it'll kill any enemies above it. And we have ourselves a nice little checkpoint. And right over here is something neat called a star coin that we didn't see, that were actually introduced in previous 2D Mario platforms like New Super Mario Bros. Now that was the first one for the stage, and you might be noticing we got ourselves a new power-up over here, that being the propeller mushroom. Probably one of the most broken power-ups in a Mario game, in my opinion. Even more so than the Tanuki Leaf in other Mario games. Being able to get to higher heights is actually pretty busted in this game, at least from my experience. If you get a power-up for a power you already have, you just get some extra points, that's it. It's not like in later games where it saves in a little inventory slot that you have. Now these red coins over here, if you already have a power when you get all 8 of them, it gives you a free life. And trust me, you'll get a lot of lives in this game. And here's our our third star coin. So there's one around here somewhere that we are missing. Get as many of those star coins as you possibly can because they're going to be very important later on in the game. If y'all remember me saying that there are 9 worlds in this game, that 9th world is very important, indicative to those, well, star coins. But anyways, why don't we wait for this wheel to quit moving, whenever it stops moving. Or not stops moving, but a world warp pipe that we saw before. And it's really taking its sweet time here. I might as well kill him while I'm at it. Bye. Alright, so it's not coming in, apparently. Because there's a little secret passage over there. So why don't we try to go into another pipe just to make it respawn. And there's our life, as I was mentioning earlier. Alright, there we go. As I was mentioning earlier with the 100 coins. Alright, let's go down here into this little warp pipe. Yeah, every time we get 100 coins, free life. And there is our second star coin for the stage. And final one, actually. Don't want to miss out on those coins. Alright, now if we go into this little warp pipe over here once again. And now we go into this part over here. There's a secret passage that you normally cannot see unless you are in this little area. Right over here. That's chock full of wonderful coins. If you need to grind up lives, this is a pretty decent way to do it. So as you have 3 hidden blocks full of lives in them. Pretty cool, I must say. Right now, we made it to the end of the level, and another reason why the propeller suit is broken, you can easily get to the top of a flagpole and get yet another life. 8 new lives all in one level. It's quite busted. Alright, onward to stage 2. Alright, y'all remember earlier when I was talking about there were 8, technically 9 worlds? Well, if you click the minus button, you can see the other worlds that you'll definitely be going on later on in your little journey of this game. But why don't we go over to stage 2? Alright, 1-2. This is a cave level. Alright, you can slide down like that, get those Goombas out the way. Alright, now if we hit this little block over here, we get ourselves another new power introduced in this game, that being the Ice Flower, which allows you to throw ice cubes, or ice balls, at your opponent and turn them into ice cubes. Some enemies don't really stay frozen for very long, plus we can get that star from there. But other enemies like this Goomba, you can actually use as an added platform, and it actually allows you to solve some puzzles that the game will throw at you. Or you can even use them to destroy other enemies. Alright, and a neat little POW block. That can actually be used to bring floating star coins down to the ground in case you have trouble trying to get them, but we won't be needing it for that purpose. Alright, let's freeze this piranha plant. And if we're in the air and we hit down, we can ground pound. I don't know if I brought it up on this channel once or yet, but I remember when I was like 7, 8 years old in the 2nd grade, I tried ground pounding. My ass hit the ground, and not gonna lie, it hurt a lot. It was terrible. Suffice to say, I would never do something like that again. But anyways, why don't we hit this P-switch that's over here that we're going to see, turning those coins into blocks. And all blocks into coins. And we can use this to get our second star coin for the level. Only one more to go. Alright, and we'll let us go back up there. If I remember correctly, I think there was a star down here. We can slide down here. If we hit this block, we get ourselves a beautiful star and a checkpoint. But mostly a beautiful star that'll allow you to run through enemies. You hit enough enemies with this attack, it'll actually give you a free life. Which is awesome. Now you need to make sure you are Big Mario for this. So you can ground pound down here, get into this pipe. As you can see, that star coin there is going to be very important. So now we have ourselves another POW block. This is a nice little teaching element for the player. To let them know that, hey, you hit POW blocks in a vicinity where there happens to be a star coin, it'll fall down like that. I kind of like that. Nice bit of level design there, teaching the player how their mechanics work. Alright, let's freeze this guy over here. Get him out of there. And now the red wing that we saw in the previous level is here as well. And these red coins do have timers on them. So be sure to get all of the red coins while you can. That is actually a way to get a fire flower on this stage as well. Too bad we're at the end of this level as is, so it doesn't really matter that much, I think. And if we shake the rear mode, we can twirl a little bit. But that wasn't enough to get to the top of the flagpole, sadly. but stage is cleared nonetheless. Alright, we have unlocked 2 stages instead of 1. Alright, why don't we go to this here Toad House first? Because this is a neat little minigame over here that they have. 1-Toad House, or Mushroom House, whichever one you want to say. Feeling lucky? Step right through the door with some items. These items will be very useful for you throughout your journey of this game. We have ourselves a nice little flipping minigame over here. Power up panels. Press 1 to punch a panel and flip it. Match a pair to win. Match 2 of these and it's all over. Huh, it's almost like a lottery type sense. I don't know why they use Bowser and Bowser Jr. as your losing ticket over here, but they did. Anyways, we start off with a propeller. Oh, that's not a good start. Alright, so as you can tell, it's random. You won't really know which one you're hitting until you hit it. Oh, come on. That's just terrible luck, man. Alright, we just got 2 matches, so that means we get an ice flower that we can use. And a propeller mushroom. It is possible to get all the panels without touching any of the Bowsers or Bowser Jr.'s, but it's quite difficult as you're not going to know which one you're flipping until you've already flipped it. It's all luck-based and that's okay. Ah, we got all the Bowsers. He's laughing at us, man, but whenever that happens, the minigame is over. But we at least got a few things that we can use in later levels. You can even unlock more of those Toad Houses if you do a good enough job in certain stages. As you can see in that little aerospace over there at the front that each world has. Alright, press 1 on the map to access your items. Don't be afraid to use items. They're clear a tough course. Thankfully, these courses aren't really that tough. Now, if you press the 1 button, this is the items that we just got. But we won't be using them right now since we still have the ice power. Anyways, y'all see that cannon that's there in the foreground-ish, I guess, just down this little thing. You see the cannon there? Well, the stage that we're about to go to has a neat little secret exit that I want to show off. So why don't we do it? Notice the little berry bush right next to us as well. That's going to be very important for this level. Kind of like that where the overworld scenery will kind of foreshadow what will be in that level. It's kind of nice, actually. I kind of like that. Now, one thing, if you freeze an enemy in the air, they will actually fall down over time a bit. Plus, we have Hammer Bros over here. If I remember correctly, I think Hammer Bros are one of the enemies that are actually immune to being frozen, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been some time since I played this game, so I don't entirely remember that. But anyways, it's our boy, the Yoshi! Everyone's favorite Mario character. So now there's a lot of things you can do with him. Flutter jump as usual. Stick your tongue out and eat enemies. Hey you'll make a good snack. You'll make a good snack. Even eat those berries. If you get 5 berries, you'll actually get a free power-up. Now if you jump in the air, shake the Wii remote, you'll be able to jump off Yoshi to get an extra bit of height, if you need to. But don't do that, that's just animal cruelty at that point. For some reason, whenever Yoshi jumps on an enemy, it also, like, he has this little star effect. It's weird. But I kind of like how this little corn trail shows you how Yoshi's little fluttering trajectory works. You can even use shelled enemies as little projectiles. Pretty nice. Now, this is a certain enemy we'll also see later in the stage that Yoshi can use. And to his advantage. I also kind of like how this level shows off semi-solid platforms and solid platforms. Notice how the ones we're standing on are a bit darker colored, while the ones in the background are a little lighter colored. And anytime you hit a block with a Yoshi in it, or Yoshi egg in it, and you already have a Yoshi, the little mushroom will fly out, that's all. Probably not going to need it, but that's alright. I think it was the Hammer Bros that were immune to getting swallowed, but not immune to being frozen, so I was probably wrong there. Alright, and we got 5. We got ourselves a free propeller mushroom that we can't really use right now. Alright, eat him. Alright, there's one of these warp pipes I remember being able to go into. I forgot which one now. Actually, oh, here it is. It's right over here. You see where that yellow warp pipe is? Just go right over here. And you got yourself a little secret entrance. And to another star coin. Alright, and that's our second one for the stage. Alright, go and eat that berry. And we have ourselves another one, but just give us some extra points. Alright, here's what I was talking about. Yoshi can actually eat up fireballs and throw them right back at his enemies. Pretty cool. You can even do that with ice as well. If you have one of your partners throw ice at you, if they have an ice fire, you can actually throw ice balls too, which is pretty sick. Now, remember that secret entrance I was talking about before? It's around here, actually. Well, let's get the star coin first before we do that. Because some stages that have secret entrances, or exits, they'll have 2 exits, a normal one and a secret one. And this is far from the only stage to happen in this game. If you get hit while on Yoshi, Yoshi will run away. But I don't think we'll be needing Yoshi for the rest of this stage, at least for the secret exit. But we'll have him anyways. Why not? Because he's a good boy. Alright, go over here, and now you should be able to fly up here. And now we're running in a spot that we can't really see, and we're getting some coins while we're at it. And there's a secret warp pipe over here that you normally can't see. I kind of like how it's a bit hinted from the bottom screen, too. From the bottom of the screen. Alright, and flutter up here with Yoshi, and go down here. All secret exits have this different coloring, so the normal exit that we've seen before in the previous levels. Plus, when we get off Yoshi, he says bye-bye to us. Don't know why we can't take him in other levels, like you could in Super Mario World, but whatever. Because we went into that secret exit, we now have access to this cannon. But we're not going to go there. We'll save that for later. Mario, bad news! The slider just got dropped off at the castle. I ordered my minions to stuff every annoying toad they catch into a question mark block. Ha! If you want to save them, come alone. You won't get any help from your friends, Bowser Jr. So you can't do those if you're playing multiplayer. I'm worried about them. If you find a toad, carry him to the goal. Uh-oh. We're just hiding in that bush. Alright, if you do rescue Toad, I think it actually allows you to get a free Toad house right on this space over here. So why don't we go through this for a second, show this off, before we go back to 1-3. Alright, Toad will actually be hidden in one of the question mark blocks that we're walking through, and I can't hear him, as you guys know, I can't hear it on my monitor. So, he'll be kind of crying out, and that'll kind of signal to the player which question mark block to hit. Oh, hello, Blueberry for rating us. Thank you for that. I do apologize, but I have this on. Hello, how you doing? Alright, here's Toad, as I was mentioning before. Hello, Raiders. How y'all doing today? Thank you for rating. I do apologize. I have my Elgato window up, so I can't really see who rated, but thank you all anyways. But as I was saying, now that we're rescuing Toad over here, we can still slide. We can't slide down. I guess I'm wrong. Thankfully, Toad can kill some enemies. And we can get ourselves this mushroom once again. Nice, hope your friend is enjoying the game. Alright, we can throw I almost said Yoshi. We can throw Toad off of us. And get this propeller mushroom over here, because if I remember correctly, even if you're holding somebody, you can't propel her. Okay. Alright, so we have to go through this entire level without that. And nice, hope you're enjoying the game. So getting Toad over here to the goal is kind of, well, depending on what level you're doing, isn't really all that bad. Though if you have a power-up like I do over here, you can't even use it, which is a little annoying. But throw Toad onto the pole, and you're good. Thank you for the good luck. And now that we got Toad to the exit, we got 3 new lives like we're going to be needing in this game. As I mentioned before, a free Toad house. Alright, well, as for you, Blueberry, I'll follow you after this video. Thank you for following, by the way. Anyways, let's go into our free Toad house and see what other little goodies we can get. Alright, thanks. Here's a gift for you. Just head through the door. Alright, power up panels once again. Alright, we know the rules we saw just a few minutes ago. Let's start over here. Alright, mushroom, not bad, not bad. Hey, look at that. Stroke of luck. Propeller mushroom. Flower. Ice flower, specifically. I'm surprised we don't have, like, a lightning flower in a Mario game. When's that gonna be a thing? Oh, Bowser Jr. Alright, propeller. Fire flower. Nice. Another fire flower. What's this one? Another propeller. Alright, we got ice. We're getting real good with this one. Uh-oh. Bowser. One more and we're done. And we're done. Oh well. But we got some good ones this time. Alright, one of each. Not bad, not bad at all. Alright, don't be afraid to use your items. Now let's go back to 1-3 and go through the real exit this time. Let's speed our way past this. Get rid of the hammer bar right over there again. And let's get our buddy boy back. Yoshi, how you doing? There are multiple different colored Yoshis in this game as well, though those only show up, however. Well, actually, no, I think they show up even outside of multiplayer, but more often than not, you're gonna end up with a green Yoshi. You got a yellow one, a light blue one, and a pink one. Originally, actually, there's unused data in the game's files that the light blue Yoshi was originally going to be a normal blue Yoshi, and the pink one was originally going to be red. I kind of wish they kept that, but yeah, light blue and pink are pretty decent too. Like, the second one will always be yellow, the third one will always be light blue, and the fourth one will always be pink. Alright, get this little egg over here. Let's run right over here. And we got ourselves yet another life this time. Alright, and at the checkpoint. Alright, get the prompt right out of there. Alright, let's go over here and get those extra coins once again. Alright, we already got that star coin before, don't need to worry about that. Kind of makes me wish there was some sort of secret in this little warp pipe over here too, but it's just there for that, that whatchamacallit. Alright, we don't need to worry about these two. Alright, I want to take Yoshi with me to the exit, so I was initially going to jump off him, but we're not going to do that.
Mario time.
Alright, Yoshi. Till next time, good sir. Alright, we have ourselves yet another Toad House, and we're about to go fight Larry Boy. No, not Pokemon Larry, the actual good Larry, this kind of lame Larry. Alright, then we get this little star house. You can probably guess what we'll get here. Here's a rare item. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Yes, it will. Nice little star. As you saw in 1-2, that star will give us invincibility, but only for 10 seconds. Alright, and now it's time to take down Larry Boy.
Time.
They'll have this weird laugh and then teleport into the dungeon. I don't know. I mean, some people say it's a castle. I prefer to call the other castle levels the castle and this the dungeon levels. Or the mini castle if you want. Alright, we can click this, get a nice flower, but I'm gonna keep my propeller. Propellers are way better than ice flowers, at least in my personal opinion. Though it is a good way to get rid of these dry bone enemies that are here. And probably one of the few powers that can kill them, but propeller mushrooms can kill them too. With our little aerial drill attack. Actually, that doesn't kill them, it just knocks it out temporarily. And y'all know how dry bones work. If you want to permanently kill them, most of the time, jumping on them will not work. Gotta take them out with a nice base attack, as I mentioned before. Now we can jump over here, and I believe there is another star coin over here. Yes, there is. Then we can even avoid this little annoying segment over here. Alright, if you're not careful, you will get squashed on this part. But the propeller mushroom allows us to bypass all that jargon. And now, time for us to get a start. You can even walk into the boss room with this if you're quick enough. Emphasis on quick enough. It does run out pretty quickly, which it looks like we're not going to be able to do. And there's our third and final star coin. Alright, we're almost to the top of this here dungeon, and we got ourselves another red coin challenge. And give me that free life. Alright, you can click that over there, and I believe you get a fire flower from there, if I remember correctly. Assuming you already have at least a super mushroom. Yep, fire flower, but we're not going to need it for this. Alright, and here's our boy Larry. Alright, so he'll start off by shooting a magic bolt at you. Ow. I was not expecting that to happen, but you jump on him like so, and he'll constantly try to hit you while he's in his shell. You only go around the arena about twice when he does that. Alright, 2 hits. And 1 more hit and it's done. Alright, and that's the end of him. I remember back in elementary school, I used to think if he hit you with his magical ice ball, whatever you want to call it, it would freeze you, but yeah, it definitely does not freeze you. Be pretty cool if it did, though. for some reason you can jump all the way over to the castle level in 3 single bounds. Okay. Hey, white flag, they surrender. Alright, now with them, his defeat, we move on to the second part of the map. Yes, let's save, because you know what they say, it's good to keep a record. Saved progress. And with that being said, I think that'll be it for this edition to the New Super Mario Bros. Wii playthrough. If y'all enjoyed this and you want to see more, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Hit one of the vids you see on screen now on YouTube, and that bell button for more. I'm giving a special thank you to Chaotic Blueberry for rating us today. I will give you a follow momentarily, as well as Cryptid Cities for joining us today. You two are the best. Give him, and everybody give Chaotic Blueberry _ over here a nice little bit of support with a follow as well. Alright, and consider answering the question of the day. Of all the World 1s in a 2D platforming Mario game, which one is your favorite and why? Let us know. And consider becoming a YouTube member for $3 a month and subscriber for $6 a month for wonderful bonuses such as an ad-free experience. Anyways, with that being said, in the second episode, we will take down this little bridge level you see over here. Thank you all for watching and have a very fit day.